What's up, everybody? Today I am going to be putting a new front sprocket on the DRZ 400. This is a factory 15 tooth, and the rear sprocket was replaced probably 500 miles ago because I went up a couple teeth in the rear, and the chain then also. The front sprocket was still pretty good, so I did it, and I know people will throw a fit 'cause I'm not putting everything on at once, but I'm just going to throw the front sprocket on here and get this baby on and lace back up. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is loosen up the axle bolt. Turn the cams way back. Slide everything forward. Next, I'm going to move up here to the sprocket. Okay. Now, I run this without a chain guard, but I still have the little case saver piece out of the chain guard, so I'm going to take that off. That's a 5mm Allen. Got your wire retainer on there also. Now we have this clip that's smashed over on your bolt here. Gonna knock that off. Get the chisel under it and then flatten it off. Now you can see this nut should have been tighter. Now this is the original front sprocket. I think this bike has around 2,000 miles on it or so. That should have been tighter. I don't know why it wasn't that tight, but I don't know the torque specs for this either, so when I put it back on, I'm just gonna give it a little snug. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the chain off of the back sprocket here. Just pull it up and spin the tire a little bit. That off. Get it back over here. And I'm going to wiggle the sprocket. Take it off and just keep note. The side with the collar goes into the motor. Get the new sprocket. If I remember where I put it. There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little grease on these splines. They're a little crusty and rusty. You can see the difference there and how the teeth are worn on the other one. Push this on. Okay. Now they do recommend you are supposed to buy a new one of these every time you put your sprocket on. I don't. I just bend it over. This is where it was bent over. I just bend it over in a new spot so you don't break this section off. That nut is, I'm using a 30 millimeter socket. That's what that is. Now, I'm not going to crank this on right now, but what I'll do, once I get the chain back on and everything tightened up as far as the back wheel, I'll just hold the brake and or get somebody else to hold the brake and just give that, snug it up. You could probably put some Loctite on there too. If I can get my chain guard back on here. The wire's up in the order. Probably put some Loctite on those too. Now I'll get the chain on the back. Start it on the bottom. Spin her up. Now of course, all I'll do is spin the canvas back around, get the chain tightened up, and we'll be good to go. And like I said, I'll give that nut, I don't know the torque specs on it. What I'll do is I'll just give it a little torque and snug it up. I've never had any issue because you can bend the little retaining tab over on that washer and that holds it tight. You never have to worry about it coming off. You just don't want your sprocket wobbling around hardcore from side to side. So thumbs up, get outside, like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next vid. Thanks folks.